Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Carl Draper from Boxing Royalty. And yes, pleasure getting you back on.
All good being on, mate. A pleasure with you. How are you?
I'm good, mate.
Good, glad to hear
Yes.
it.
So first of all, we'll talk about Ollie Duffy's fight in Yashir Al for the is it super lightweight or lightweight?
Super lightweight Southern area title. Should be a good fight from what I've seen of both. Obviously, I've worked with Ollie for a long time now, over a year, maybe year and a half. I've only seen him fight once, and that was against Lee Hallett, and unfortunately, he hurt his wrist in the first or second round. But look, I've seen him spar. I've seen a lot of him in the gym, and people that I know that have spoke to him, he's very heavy-handed. So and I know Andy's boys well. I've never actually met Yassi. I've never spoke to Yassi. But obviously I know Andy and the other boys in the gym, so it should be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because Yash is of course coming off a good win over Prosper.
Yeah, from I mean, I was there that night. He boxed very well at times. His timing was good. I don't think Aaron looked 100% in the ring, but that's not taking nothing away from Yassi. But it's set up. A lot of people are overlooking Ollie in this fight because they look at his record. He's only had 4 or 5 fights. I think he's had one stoppage, but you've got to credit the man. He's gone straight into a 10-round Southern area fight in only his fifth or sixth. I think it's his sixth fight.
Mm,
And he's being written off by a lot of people. A lot of people I've spoke to, because of Yassi's a well-known name. This is what 11th, 12th fight.
mm.
But I'm telling you now, don't write him off. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting night, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Should we talk about the other fights on the card?
Yeah, you sent me the card. I can't remember. I know you said Ticey was on there.
Yeah, Ticey's fighting Gemma Rueg for the Commonwealth.
Yeah, again, Ticey, obviously a very good friend of mine, someone I work with very closely. Very nice girl, lovely family. Um, she had I think I did an interview and someone asked me what my best performance was live last year, being there, and I said it was Ticey when she beat what
Lisa.
was her name? Yeah, Lisa Whiteside. She was punch perfect that night. Unfortunately, I was down in Swindon when she boxed the French girl, but a lot of people have said she's won. I've heard a lot of people say it was close. So yeah, it's good that she had that little backbreak of the Commonwealth still being sat there, and I think she'll win this fight convincingly, and then she'll hopefully get straight back in at maybe European/world level. But she's got a great manager in Tony, and I'm sure they'll do what's right. But I'm looking forward to it. I always get very nervous when she fights.
Mm-hmm. I watched her world title fight and I thought she was up by two, but it was close.
Yeah, a lot of people said she started very well, and then it looked like she faded for a few rounds, and then she finished well. And
Mm,
also, you know how it is. If you go into the other person's backyard, you've got to win 7, 8 rounds convincingly to have any chance of getting anything. And unfortunately, she didn't. But I spoke to her a couple of days afterwards, and she was in spirits. If you go into it, if you take a big risk like that, like Jack did, and you've given everything and you've performed well, you half know what's going to happen. And I can't comment on what I see. I watched the first 3 rounds, but I was in a pub, a tiny little pub with Mitchell Smith and Ricky, and we were watching Billy Allington. He was on the telly. So she's in good spirits, and like I said, she's still got a Commonwealth. And in women's boxing, you only got to get 1, 2 good wins and just straight back.
mm. What about Frankie Story v Ryan Walker for the super bantamweight Southern area?
See, I rate Frankie Story very highly. When Jack used to train down at Pug, they all used to say about how good Frankie was. And I don't know if you've seen the documentary they made about him, where it was, he had a scare with an injury. I think it was a brain injury, so I might be wrong. But I've seen him box now 3, 4 times. One, he's a lovely guy as well, good friends with Ticey,
Mm.
but he can seriously box. And look, Ryan had a good account of himself when he boxed on Matchroom Minute against that, what was his name?
Nico.
Nico Lavares. And Ryan's experience, he's had a lot of 10-round fights. He's won the area title. He's lost at English titles. So it's a good test for Frank. He looked
Would you
very good
say
in
it's
his
the
Dale
last?
tackle, and I know for a fact. Go on.
Sorry. Would you say it's the last roll of the dice for Ryan?
Depends what he wants to do. I think at that level of titles, yes. But if he gets a fight, you look at Jeff Afori. He got a fight on Matchroom, went and beat that Callum French, and now he's fighting in Abu Dhabi.
Mm.
He's gonna know what to do in there over the 10 rounds, because Frankie hasn't boxed a 10-rounder yet. But Frankie had a tough fight in his last. Daryl Tatfuma, I know for a fact, come to
Mm.
win that fight. I was at the weigh-in and he was there to win because he he'd seen the post and it was, beat Daryl and we've got a title shot. So Daryl said, well, what if I beat him? Do I get the title? So he's a very slick fighter, Frankie. I love watching him fight. I really
Yeah, it should be a good fight, that one.
100%. Yeah, I'd say Frankie will win on points, but it ain't going to be easy for him.
I think Lewis is fighting on that show as well. Hopefully.
Lewis, yes, he is. Yeah, I spoke to Lewis last night. He's fighting Ryan Labour, and I think this is his last one before he goes on. Obviously, he had a bit of a tough end to the year. Opponents kept pulling out. He had to fight at heavyweight twice, but he's an absolute animal. I would not want to get on the wrong side of Lewis Oakwood. I love him to pieces, and I think it'll be another devastating. The thing with Lewis, you see typical cruiserweights laying people out. He don't. He just breaks them down, and he don't rush his work. If he don't knock him out, he don't knock him out. But you can see he punishes people for that 16, 20, whatever it is, half an hour. He's every shot is accurate, and that's a props to his coach as well, Matt. Another really nice guy.
Mm. Do you think he'll win the Southern area this year?
Well, I think you've got to look who's there, and the obvious fight for it to be is him versus Devon Miller again, number
Mm.
two, which is another tough fight. But I think Lewis is very good. I think he could fight for it now. Devon is another one that I like. But obviously, I've worked with Lewis a long time. I've known him a while now. And yeah, I'd like to see him get an area title shot middle of the year, June, July time, hopefully.
Hmm. Fingers crossed. What about Obi when he fought Lee Cutler? That was a good fight.
I was so proud of him. Honestly, I was so proud of him. He is one of my best friends in boxing. Of the people I've met, he's just such a nice guy. He's probably the hardest trainer I've ever met. I've never known any boxer to stay in fight condition. He doesn't go overweight. He doesn't pile on pounds. He done so well. He got caught a few times. He never really, well, you say he never. He looked like he was getting kicked clean a lot, not a lot, but a few times he got caught. But when
Mm.
I spoke to him, he said I wasn't hurt once, and it's the hardest thing to do. When you're going onto Sky and you're fighting in their world champions backyard, it's it's a tough job, and he done so. I had it 6-4 to Cutler, but there was times in that fight. Obi started every round very well, but then Cutler just managed to land a convincing or an eye-catching shot towards the end of the round. And
Mm.
when that happens on these shows, like we just said about Tyson and Jack, it affects it. And he didn't get it, but
Like,
there's a
even
big
though
fight
you're
lined up.
winning most of the round, sometimes, especially when it's getting judged by one ref, I know that fight wasn't, but when they judge it sometimes. If it's a tight round, you need those last 10 seconds. Like if there's a little flurry, they give the round to the other person, even though you've been cruising through that round.
Yeah, there were some rounds that they do the judges score, the commentators scorecards, which are on Sky and Matchroom, are always complete and utter shit. But there was rounds where Obi was winning 2 minutes of the round, but
Mm.
then he'd get caught one shot and then get pushed back. Cutler wouldn't do nothing. Oh, that's a Cutler round. You just can't. And the same way if it was at York Corner Goodwin show, it'd have been the same the other way around. That's the sad thing about boxing. And you say about the one ref, I don't think if you're fighting for a title, there should be three judges, no matter what.
Yeah, even for like the southern area as well.
100%, 100%.
Pretty much every title you should have three judges.
Yeah, I think every title fight there should be three judges at ringside. 100%.
Hmm. So what do you think's next for Obi?
I've got an inkling. Well, I know what's there. Obviously, I
Mm.
can't say nothing, but I don't know what to say here. It'll be going straight back in for a title. He's, obviously, I just print his shirts. But obviously, I'm good friends with him, so he tells me what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
There should be news soon, and if it does get made, which I think it's very close to being, you're going to love it, and so is everybody else.
Hmm. Who else? Should we talk about Jack when he fought Lewis?
The punk prick, Jack Hughes, the man who stresses my life out when he fights. Mate, what a weekend. It was such a good weekend. We all went down there on a Friday. We had the weigh-in. We had a bit of food, went and watched the fights in the evening. But we go back to this whole thing, when you switch off for a second. I remember I went to the jukebox on the Friday night in this little bar, me, Ricky Mitchell were in. And I was looking for a song and it just come to me that Jack got to stick it on him to have any hope of winning tomorrow night. And look, when we was at the weigh-in, I thought Lewis was drained. There was talk that he was upstairs showering, trying to get weight off. and then he's turned up at the weigh-in in a pair of sliders. So whether he was tight at the weight or not, it give us a lot of confidence, or give them a lot of confidence for Jack. Jack, by the way, just before I go on to it, Jack, that is the best shape I've ever seen Jack in. He looks absolutely phenomenal. And that's a props to a nutritionist called Liam Williams. Any fighters that are looking to get nutritionists in, you need to speak to this man, because what he done with Jack is just phenomenal. But anyway, weighed in, Jack looked incredible. I thought Lewis looked very tight at the weight. And that, for me, I thought he could do this here. But then obviously Lewis is a naturally bigger man. And when they both got in the ring, I turned to Terry, Jack's wife, or Mrs. wife to be, and I said, he is absolutely massive. And for 2 rounds, not Jack couldn't get near him, but Lewis was doing everything right. He was keeping him off, and Jack just couldn't get near him. But Jack, in true fashion, like a little scrawny flyweight that he is, just found his way. And as soon as he got there, he was hurting him. You know, there was a video put up by Jack of the shots that Ash Lane recorded, and there were some big shots landing. We couldn't enjoy the fight as much as we wanted to, because let's just say having chairs thrown at you from fans across a venue and people coming up behind you and telling you that you're this, you're that, and the other, it weren't very nice. But I've got nothing against Chris. He seems like a nice kid, and hopefully one day we get to see that fight again. But I had Jack winning that fight, the 5-3, but I could argue 4-4. I don't see, this is a problem we say about 3 judges. How 2 of them judges only give Jack 2 rounds is an absolute joke. Where's the fight footage? That's what I want to ask people. Why have they not put the fight footage out?
Talk about how it gets stopped on a clash, because I see the fight photo after, and I can't really see like a cut.
So to be fair, I was a bit too passionate. When we got back to the hotel, I texted him straight away, Lewis, and I said, look, mate, respect to you, you're a warrior, but that was a hometown decision. And he just texted me back and he was like, mate, at least give me a chance to get stitched up. And then about 10 minutes later, I got a picture come through on WhatsApp, and it was Lewis's lip. I'll send you the picture. To be fair to him, his lip was atrocious. It was literally like here, it was hanging apart. So this part of his lip was separated. So it was bad. Listen, if that was, do I think they'd have stopped it? No, I think they'd have let it continue. I think it reminded me a lot of Baluta versus McCann. Baluta was getting on top, and they had a reason to get him out of there, because I genuinely do believe that Jack would have stopped him. You know, he was a much fitter man. He had everything in the tank still going, and it was just a hometown decision. I can't argue with it. It weren't a robbery, I don't think, but I do think that Jack won. And if that was at York Hall, Jack would have got the decision. But let's hope. You know, I said to Lewis, let's get it at York Hall. Nielsen does shows there. Do it on your show. Just do it in London. But hopefully the rematch gets made. Obviously, there's news coming on Jack's next fight. And if that does happen again, we'll be taking a lot more people, because I think we were outnumbered massively, and it showed, as I said, by chairs being thrown at us and stuff like that.
Yeah. So there's big news coming for Jack soon.
Biggest news of his career. Could be a fight that involves 2-3 belts, but that will be coming out very soon. And listen, I'm so proud of Jack. Obviously, he's come back from retirement. Everything's fallen into place. You know, he's engaged. He's got his lovely little baby Clementine, and he's training with what I think is the best small hall trainer around at the minute. And I have no doubt that Aaron will go on to train multiple champions at big scene level. You know, he's got a lot of big fights coming up. Jack, Ollie, Obi's going in straight again. Stay Ready's just won an English eliminator.
Oh yeah. Thoughts on that fight?
He was brilliant, Jerome. He was brilliant. I think he could have stepped it a bit more at times. He dropped him, not heavy, but it was a big punch in the first round that put him down. And I think that was not the worst thing that happened, but for Stay Ready, that was in his mind. He was 2 rounds up straight away, or whatever it is, 2 points up. And I think there was times he got walked down, and Stay Ready was happy to sit back. And when he had his chance to go, he didn't. But listen, he won the fight, and I genuinely do believe he won the fight. Just such a nice guy.
So is he going to be fighting Gomez?
I hope somebody beats Gomez, I'll tell you that. But it's just hard at the minute, because he's in the worst super featherweight. Everything's tied up. You think you've got the area title between Caswell and Weber Kane, which I think Caswell wins. You've got the English title Gomez has got, but he don't want to fight nobody because he'll probably get banned again. And then you've got Levi, who holds a Commonwealth silver title. And then it goes on from there. So
and then Liam Dillon's got the British Belotti's Commonwealth.
Exactly that. So it's hard to see at the minute what fight's there, but he'll fight anybody, you know. And another one that Liam Williams is working with, he come in absolutely incredible. And then when I see him on the night, he was huge. And again, that's just a big props. But Jerome deserves a big fight. He's taken all the fights. Do you know what I mean? He boxed in lockdown against Nick Ball, took him 8 rounds. He really does deserve a big
And
chance.
Nick Ball's looking for a world title anyway.
Exactly. And Nick Ball couldn't get Jerome out of there, and that was a weight Jerome don't fight at. He had Andy in his corner because he didn't have a team at the time, and I really, if I could wish a title on one person before they retire, it would be for Jerome to get one.
So yeah, so is the English next for him, or just the usual? Because it's Gomez vacated that.
I thought he had, but apparently he hasn't. So it's hard to see what goes next. You know, when you win an
And then
English
Kane
title,
Baker's been mandatory or something, he said.
Baker's been put forward to fight Gomez, and obviously, if Gomez doesn't fight him, then the only person that deserves it is Stay Ready.
Yeah, so it should
So I
be
wouldn't be
Kane
surprised if you
v.
see that.
It
Yeah, it
should be
should be Kane
Kane
versus Jerome, but you just never know with these. A lot of promoters have got their fingers in with things. You know, like you look at Steve Goodwin, he gets most of the area title fights because he's good with the people that do that. TM14 get a few, and then English is a bit spread about, and it's just what you can get. Obviously, I don't think Jerome is set on just the English. There's a lot of belts around there. Like I said, you've got the Commonwealth Silver, you've got the Southern area. So just Aaron will be working with Steve to try and get whatever's best for Jerome. But hopefully there is news soon because there isn't at the minute. I don't think.
Um, as you mentioned, Caswell v Weber Kane, a fight that's on it. Alfie Winter, of course, has got a big fight against. I forgot his name now. Jake Henty.
Henty.
That's it.
Hard fight. I speak to Alfie again, another one that I work with. I speak to Alfie a lot, the most handsome man in boxing, honestly. The amount of times I text that boy, like ring him and he'll text me just on a sunbed, mate. And I think, oh God, really? But look, I feel for Alfie because he had a couple of fights fall through at the end of last year. Obviously, he lost for a headbutt in his only fight last year versus Bassi. But he's another one who's just super talented and a real nice guy. I believe, I've heard, I don't know how true it is, that fight is for the Southern area title, him and Henry. Which, if it is, that's brilliant because he deserves it. Welterweight. Bassi's vacated, apparently. Not for me to say what Bassi's got because I don't know how true it is, but it's what I've heard. But obviously, Jake Henty's a southpaw. He trains with Stephen Smith, managed by Paul. Doesn't necessarily make him any good, but obviously I've seen him fight and he is. But I'm confident Alfie will get the job done. I think he could get him out of there, but who knows?
So you think he'll stop him, or?
I think there's a very good chance he will. He's very calculated, Alfie. He doesn't rush in. He's heavy-handed, but he's a bit like who was I? Lewis Oakford. He doesn't look for it. He puts his shots together, and if it comes, it comes. Jake Henty's a very good boxer, and Alfie could struggle to get to him, but he will get to him at some point. Same as I'm sure Jake will get to Alfie. But I think there's a lot of fire in Alfie's belly with everything that's gone on, and I don't think there's anything that will stop him winning this fight. Fingers crossed.
What's your thoughts on Marley v Louis? Oh, yeah.
Marley won't mind me saying, when I went to a Peacock show and Marley was there and Louis, I think it was his debut. And Marley said to me that day, he said, I want to fight him one day. He said, we know each other from the amateurs or from something, I don't know what. And Marley's been wanting that fight for a long time. And props to John and Aaron at TM14 for getting that for the area title because it's going to be a great fight. Look, the better boxer is Louis. He is the better boxer. But when you've got someone like Marley who is relentless as anything, it's not as easy to box as you'd like to do. Jeff had a good game plan against Marley. That was a bit of a brawl. And I think the whole ongoings that night affected Marley a lot, waiting and, waiting around all night. And because of everything that happened, we don't need to talk about that. But yeah, if it's a boxing match, then Marley's got to get to him because Louis is very slick. Lee Hallett boxed Louis, and he said that Louis is very heavy-handed, but he's also hard to get at. But Marley's just he's like a robot in them robot wars, isn't he? He just comes forward throwing shots, and you just got to try and stop him. Look when he boxed Casey Bradnam. I know Casey had a lot of stuff going on. I like Marley a lot, and I really hope he wins it. He's a very good friend of mine. But it is going to be tough for both fighters. That is a real area title fight, that one. You've got two good boys that it is really a pick'ems fight. You've got one that it's like having Joshua against Fury, for instance. You've got one that's the heavy hands and throws the big shots, and then you got the other one that stays away and sticks the jab out. So I think York Hall that night is going to be just absolutely packed to the rafters. Obviously, I'll be there for Nathan Brown's second fight,
Oh
and
yeah,
obviously
Nathan's on
supporting.
it as well against
Yeah,
Jake
so
Pollard, I think.
yeah, so there's a few. Is he fighting Jake Pollard? Is he?
Well, that's what it says on Box Rep the last time I had a
I know
look.
they were meant to fight him on the debut, but obviously he got pulled off. Um, so yeah, it's a great boxing, and that'll be my second show of the year. My first being obviously Alfie Clegg.
Oh yes, Alfie's fighting for the IBO youth title.
Another great guy in boxing. You know the story. Just a real nice guy. He sends a lot of people my way for business when he gets all this done for his sister. And that just shows the type of person he is, that he wants to help people out. It was so annoying because his fight was meant to be the same night as Jack's, and obviously Jack's my best mate, so I support him over anyone in this world in boxing. But I'm glad now that I can go, and it's a Friday night, so I'm looking forward to getting back to a black box show. It will be packed, and Alfie will do his usual amount of tickets. He's got to get me a shirt done this time, and I'll pay for it, or I'll just print it myself. But I don't know anything about the guy he's fighting. I don't know his record or nothing.
Mm.
But I've no doubt that Alfie, the way he performed in his last fight, that stoppage, if he can get in there again like that with Xavier, I think he'll stop the guy and he'll
You
become the
mean
youth
the
world
fight
champion.
before? You mean the fight before? His
Yeah, sorry, the one before the one at York Hall when he sparked the guy in Tolworth.
uh, that was in the third round. That one.
Yes, when he dropped him twice, didn't he, in the first, and then he dropped him again in the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, again, like I said, Alfie's one of boxing's good guys. He's got a heart of gold. He's got a lovely missus. And I really hope he gets the job done. I've got no doubt. I've just sorted my tickets out for that night, actually. So, yeah, we'll all be going.
Is there anyone else that we haven't spoke about yet?
No, not that I know of. Obviously, we've mentioned the Stay Readies of the world and people like that.
What about of course Rames Mahmood and Jordan have recently retired.
Jordan, who?
Burkiss.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, look, I like Jordan. I've met Jordan a few times. Every time I've seen him, he'll always come over and say hello. Um, I just sent him a message. I feel for him there. When he's talking about mental health and stuff. That big props to him. And people, I've seen people that people have retired in the past after a loss and blame mental health. I don't believe Jordan's retiring because he lost. I think you could see in the sincerity in what he done in 6-7 fights
Mm.
is incredible. And maybe that wasn't the best thing for him of winning that Southern Area in English so quick because there was no choice but to get thrown into big fights. And I know that's what Jordan wants, but maybe a couple of defence of the area would have made sense. But I'm not a manager. I've got no idea. But listen, I hope everything's cool. And like I said to Jordan, if he ever wants to talk to anyone, just drop me a message. And Ramirez was so pleased for him the night he won that title fight. Obviously it was known that he'd lost a member of his family. I think it was his granddad on fight week.
Mm.
And to get in and I was that nervous I couldn't actually watch a lot of it because I just knew what it meant to him. And then I remember seeing him come out afterwards and he just looked like so overwhelmed, like he was so relieved because of everything that had happened. When he boxed Jordan, you could say Jordan boxed well or Ramirez boxed bad. I didn't have that fight close at all. I had Jordan winning 9 or 10 out of the 10 rounds. And for Ramirez to go and do what he did as an away fighter, I know he's signed by Goodwin, but Berger's Goodwin's boy. He's the area champion. It was just brilliant, and you see the video he put up when they're announcing it, and he said, "Surely, surely, surely." And then when they said Ramirez, I was just so happy for him, and that's all I did. All I could do is I just give him a cuddle when I see him because he, again, said it a lot, but he is just one of boxing's real nice people, and he's a real man, a real proper guy.
What was like the fight like? Of course, you didn't sit. You said you didn't watch most of it, but like from when you watch like little bits of the fight, how did you see it?
I think Ramirez just he early on he looked like he was landing a lot of shots, and then obviously the later the fight goes on, Peter and his team are realizing that they've got to start landing, and where he started to get not desperate being the right word, but he knew he needed to. Ramirez was just picking him off, and don't get me wrong, there was times in the fight that he was landing on Rams, but I just think the perfect, get the early rounds in straight away, get a couple of the middle, get a couple of the end. He didn't go steaming in front. He boxed the same fight the whole way through, and there was a lot of countering. He did a lot of countering during that fight. I see Peter because he was sharing a changing room with Jerome. So I went in and see Jerome after his fight, and Peter had just come in, and you could see the kid was absolutely devastated and a real nice guy. And I just said to him, like, look, you're still Southern Area champion. You know, I said, Jack's fight, Jack was the week before, I think. And I
Yeah.
said, you know, he's in the same position. He technically, he hasn't lost since he had his area title. I know he obviously let go of it for the fight he had, but just rebuild, and it shows because he's now having another 10 rounder. I don't know if it's for the area title, but
No, it's
he
not. It's against
oh,
Joe Kamichi though, but it's a 10 rounder.
who is that Joe Kamichi?
He's 3 or 4-0.
Yes, he's 3-0. Is he from not from around here then? No.
He is. He's signed with Goodwin.
Oh, okay. So it might get made for the area then. You never know.
It's not because I think Walker's fighting Story for it.
Oh, so oh, of course he would have let go when he fought for the Commonwealth. Oh, well, that makes me look like a bit of a dick in the change room, telling him he's still got the belt, then, doesn't it? But yeah, no, I don't know anything about Joe Kamichi. Peter can fight. I'm sure Joe can. He wouldn't be going into a 10 rounder in his full fight. Respect to him for that. And just another fight that I look forward to seeing on the night.
hmm And yeah, is that everyone you wanted to speak about?
Yeah, I think so. Just all the boys that I work with and girls. A lot of fights coming up. Starting, as I said, February 16th, 24th, March the 2nd, March the 9th, March the 30th or something. April the 13th. Just everyone, I wish you all
Busy.
well. And obviously, if you need anything, come and hit me up. And obviously, I've been through a bit of a tough time myself recently. Obviously, losing the business account due to the scam. So everything's been delayed, but we're back up and running. So for all them companies that are paying a little interest in messaging fighters that they know I work with, I appreciate your gratitude. You could come to me, but they'll always stick by me. And yeah, just you keep it up and all, Sam, because you're doing a brilliant job, mate. As always, you're improving every time I speak to you and watch your interviews.
Oh, thank you, Carl. It means a lot, and thank you for your time as always, mate.
No worries, mate. I'll speak to you soon. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Bye.
Take care, pal. Bye bye.